please stand for our invocation and remain standing for the national anthem. Dear God, as we gather together for spring convocation, we come with open hearts and open minds, ready to learn and to grow as a learning community. We're mindful that this is the week of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. His life work spoke of the importance of compassion and justice in our world. We ask for your guidance and wisdom as we strive to be compassionate and just in our actions and our interactions with others. May we always strive to see the humanity in each person, regardless of their background or circumstances. Help us to be mindful of the ways in which our actions and words can affect others, and may we always strive to make a positive impact in our community. We also remember and honor those who have come before us, who have fought for equality, for equity, for justice, and we pledge to carry on their legacy by continuing to work towards a more compassionate and just society. We pray for the strength and courage to stand up against injustice and to work positively toward a world where all people are treated with dignity and respect. We give you thanks for our speaker today and are grateful for her wisdom and her witness. May this spring convocation be a time of growth and learning for us all as we strive to be better individuals and a better community. Amen. Thank you, Union Harmony. Good morning, everyone. You may be seated. Please take a moment to silence any electronic devices that you may have brought with you today. Thank you. I'm Reverend David Miller, College Minister and Executive Director of Spiritual Life and Social Justice Initiatives, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to Spring Convocation. Joining me this morning on the platform today are Ms. Terry Cahill, Chair of the Union College Board of Trustees, Dr. Marcia Hawkins, President of Union College, Dr. Marisa Guerrier, Executive Vice President and Provost. Ms. Joan Brannon, Co-Executive Director of Kentuckians for the Commonwealth, and our guest speaker, Dr. Larry Inkster, Professor of Health and Physical Education and mace bearer, and Mr. Carlos Barroso Sanz, President of the Student Government Association, SGA, who will come forward now to bring greetings.
Hello everyone, my name is Carlos Sainz. I am from Madrid, Spain. This is my third year at Union. I'm part of the soccer team and I'm studying chemistry. As SGA president, my main goal is to satisfy and help every need of the student body. Moving on, dear fellow students of Union College, I hope you all had a great winter break, enjoying your free time with family and friends. I am glad to be back and seeing the faces of the students, which are the biggest pillar of this college. As Union students, we have to be a model to each other, and therefore be respectful, kind, and polite to every student, professor, faculty, or staff, so we can create an atmosphere inside the college and face this journey all together as a team. Furthermore, many think you come to Union to study or play a sport. However, the truth is that it's much more than that. During your 4 years, you would meet and know people that would last in your life for many years, and live experiences and memories that would be inside your mind forever. You decide what kind of journey you would like to have throughout your college years. But if you enjoy every day, you go to your classes, speak with your classmates, and make long-time relations, your college experience at Union would be one of the best memories of your life. Lastly, thank you for listening to me, and I wish that everyone here has a fantastic and successful semester.
Joan Brannon is Executive Co-Director of Kentuckians for the Commonwealth, KFTC, which I think is the premier social justice organization in Kentucky. I was on the KFTC leadership transition team, which was responsible for establishing the job announcement for the position of Executive Director on the occasion of the longtime Executive Director's retirement. We had a laundry list of impossible expectations, and one option put forth by someone else on the transition team was to publicize that we would be open to receiving applications for co-executive directors. And I was against that option. I've been involved with a small number of organizations with co-EDs, and my perspective on the matter at that time was that those organizations lacked cohesion and clear direction. But when Joan interviewed with us, I became an instant convert. Although they had not applied together, I could see how Joan's heart, her art, her connection with people, her vision, her wisdom and experience as a Black woman navigating leadership spaces in Kentucky was a perfect mesh with one of the other applicants. Now, in the program, you can see her titles and her accomplishments, but I want to introduce from my heart to her heart to your heart, Union College, I introduce Joan Brannon.
The sacred drum, the heartbeat of a people, the heartbeat of all people. The drum is as ancient as time, its beat steady as a clock ticking through infinity. Its rhythms marking birth, death, love, war, happiness, pain, and all between. The drum beats travel through the Middle Passage, a sacred possession that could not be stripped away as Africans lost most everything else, but somehow held on to their spirits, yet somehow held on to the drum. And the rhythm never died. The rhythms carried from tribe to tribe, person to person, spirit to spirit. The rhythms of time and space, the rhythms of voice and breath. The call of the ancestors, remember my name. The call of the ancestors, remember my name. Remember my name. Remember my people, feel my heartbeat. The heartbeat of a people, the heartbeat of all people. Good morning. Ooh, are y'all up? Okay, I'm from Kentucky. Y'all are gonna hear a lot of y'alls come out of me, so y'all be ready. Oh, so it's so good to be here. Often when I'm doing things, which mic should I use, sir? Good? Okay. Often when I'm doing things, I focus on the drum and rhythm and less talking. I find that talking gets us in trouble, but today I wanted to combine some drum, rhythm in that energy, and also share some words. Give us some things to think about while we're here together today and when we leave. So good to be at Union College. I've never been here. Thank you, David. Thank you, folks, for the invitation. It's very exciting. I know when I was younger, I had a neighbor who lived in Barberville, and she would get in the car and leave, and we never knew where she was going, but to a land, Barberville, far away. So then when I got here, I find that folks in Barberville, and I know some of you may be from here and may not, but are all the same as folks from where I grew up in Lexington. So I wanted to bring the drum today because the drum has a vibration, it has a sound. It is a way to bring an instant connection. Never been to Barberville, never been to Union College, but now I appreciate that I already feel some connection. So the connection of the drum, the clapping, and then eventually I even got some smiles out of some of y'all. So feeling a little more connected because of the drum. And that's what the drum does. It brings community together for connection, for communication. And drums are the heartbeat of the community. Every culture has a drum. And that means that when we come together no matter our differences in appearance, lifestyle, background, or belief, the drum opens the gateway to our hearts. So then we come together and we connect from our hearts. Are y'all with me? Something that I didn't write here, but I'm gonna just throw it in so you know it. This drum that I'm playing is called djembe, and it originates in West Africa. And the original name of this drum was Anka J. Anka Bay. And translated, that means bring community together in peace, which I think the drum is doing its job today. Do y'all think? Yeah. Okay. So appreciate being here, being connected, and I appreciate your willingness to clap along, tap your feet, smile a little bit. And that affirms to me that even though we are most often conditioned to sit still in moments like this, that when we hear the call of the drum and we are willing to move beyond that conditioning, we have the opportunity to forge a deep connection, if only for a moment. You may never see me again, but in this moment, we're connected. I hope to see you again. When we clap together, we sync up and align our effort. When we do this, we can move in one accord. We can move together. So the willingness that you had not only gave us the opportunity for connection, it gives us the opportunity to be guided by our hearts, and it is an opportunity to be guided by love. Nobody here knew where I was going with the drumming, but everyone here released to the moment, released to the rhythm of the person in front of you, right? You didn't know if they had rhythm. You released to the person in front of you, to the person behind you, to the person beside you, and we created a moment that worked well for us all. And not just worked well, it was energizing. I saw it in your faces. I felt it in my face and in my body. And that moment of rhythmic togetherness sparked joy. So what lesson can we pull from this? Is this what happens when we trust? Can we believe that a random moment of rhythm can inspire a truly authentic experience, and that if we allow ourselves to share in that moment, know that we may feel a little better? Y'all feel a little bit better? Yeah. So we trusted that one clap would match another, and that all together the claps would be in sync with the drum. So sync, as in S-Y-N-C. Being in sync is something that I feel and I wasn't sure I knew how to explain it. So I looked it up. Guess where I looked it up at? Google. So according to the Google, in sync is a state in which two or more people or things agree or match with one another and work together properly. Work together properly. The question one might ask is, that felt good, but how do we recreate a moment like that without a drum? In my work as a community organizer, that's really the constant question that comes up over and over in one form or another. When we have a room full of people who need to work together to achieve something greater than ourselves, how do we acknowledge the value in each individual voice and blend that into a power of that from one voice to a unison voice, or a voice that is in union? Get it? Union? Okay. So if I clap alone in this room, no one will hear me, right? If we clap together, the message spreads. Everyone can hear it. So now the question is, how do we recreate these moments of being in sync? And to expand on it, how do we recreate a series of moments of working together properly? Because, right, the Google said working together properly. So now I know many of us would be inclined to dive into language in this moment, because some of us would need to deconstruct what does work together properly mean and things like that. I advocate for a different way. I suggest we allow ourselves to follow the example of the drum, to be led more often by our hearts, to be led by what is natural to us. We know how. We incorporate natural patterns into our lives every day. So for instance, we plan our days around the rising and setting of the sun. We sync our clocks to it. We just trust that nature is going to take care of that, and we'll all be in sync with nature. So, but we've also kind of been repackaged and programmed and socialized into some ways of being that don't always serve our natural ways. So when I started thinking about this, and y'all stay with me because I started thinking about this last night and just kind of threw it into this. You know how something is like vivid and exciting for you, and then other people are like, what? So stay with me. So I was thinking about ways we've been separated, and what came to me visually is like all of these columns, big, long columns, right? Columns that are labeled by race, gender, ethnicity, age, class, socioeconomic levels, on and on and on. So the image of these columns come to me as like these huge vertical lists, right? Huge vertical lists. And they are disconnected from one another. The columns are disconnected, and then they have lines in the columns with the list, with the words shifting side to side. Can y'all see that, sort of? Yeah. So all of this movement, the shifting, is about socialization. And it's an effort to keep one column, right, above another. And even within the vertical list, there is shifting to keep one line from resting evenly over another, right? So with all the movement that's not in our favor, how do we find ways to be in sync with one another? How do we find ways to hear the heartbeat of the drum, to hear our collective heartbeat, let alone actually be able to feel it all the time? One of the things I have found as I travel around facilitating drum circles or speaking or doing community organizing work is that no matter where I am, I can almost always find someone with whom I share something in common. And that is where, that's the point of syncing up, that commonality. So the next lesson from the drum is releasing fear. So there was trust and then releasing fear. Releasing fear is a way I have found leads to being in sync. Because what I realized at a young age was people were taught to fear and hate me as a black person in one of these big columns, and I was being conditioned to fear and feel oppressed by others in a separate column, and I was even being taught to fear and dislike those who look like me within the list in that column. Are y'all identifying with any of these columns? Okay. So when we go back to finding something in common. So there's a story that I love to tell, and you almost had to be there, but I'm going to try to tell it quickly enough so that you can kind of have the experience with me. So like I said, I'm from Lexington, Kentucky, which in Kentucky is a more urban area, right? We're not, Kentucky's not urban, but it's a more urban area. And the first time I ever went to Letcher County, I went to the holler, to a friend's family holler. And we were there. She lived in Lexington, that's where I knew her from, but I didn't know life in the holler and her family. So we went over there to visit, and what I found out is a holler is basically an extended family's little neighborhood, it's your own neighborhood. And then hollers stay familial and well protected from strangers, right? And and before I forget, a small detail, my friend is a white woman. So that's a really big detail. So I'm in the holler in Letcher County with my friend who is a white woman, and I'm from Lexington. So, and her whole family in Letcher County, you know, are white folk. So when you arrive at the holler, like You drive in one driveway, and then there's a house and a hill and a house and a hill. And you have to stop and holler and say hello to everybody in the holler. Like, you can't just drive in and go where you're going to Mama's house. You got to stop and say hello and visit and drink a cup of coffee with everybody. And we stopped at my friend's uncle's house. And from the front, you couldn't see this, but at the back of his house was the most beautiful sight. I walked around the side of his house. There was this huge, beautiful pond. And not like a country pond. Like, my granddaddy lived on a farm, and the pond was just dark and muddy. And, it wasn't like that. It was a beautiful pond with blue water that was pristine. And in the pond were like these huge koi fish. Y'all know what those are? Just gorgeous, beautiful fish. And the pond was huge, so big that they had built a wooden bridge to go over it. And all around this pond area, there was manicured landscape. Like, I felt like I was in like a Japanese garden or something, and I just got mesmerized, and I sank into the moment, and I just kind of I dropped into meditation. I was like, And then I stood there, and I heard a voice from behind me that was kind of gruff, said, "Hey." And it brought me out of my meditation real quick. I looked up, and the first thing I noticed, my friend was gone. And then I turned around, and then I noticed a man with a really gruff exterior, scraggly face, beard, wearing camouflage from head to toe, with a rifle on his shoulder. And I'm standing in his yard, and he hasn't met me yet. I paused for a moment, he paused for a moment, and then, and I will just say that at that moment I was not in sync. Like, this whole conversation is about being in sync with other people. I was not in sync. So I didn't move, but I kind of stuttered, I'm blank blank's friend. I don't tell my friend's name when I tell this story, because people in the holler are private. Like, you don't tell their business. So I don't even tell her name. And then he said, "Oh, hey." And the gruff was gone from his voice, and he said, "I'm Uncle such and such." And you know why I'm not saying his name. So I relaxed a little bit and smiled. And it occurred to me that a man who had on camouflage from head to toe and a rifle on his shoulder also had this beautiful pond and the koi fish and a space that I found instantly meditative. So there was something beautiful about this person. And we didn't talk a lot. I said, "Oh, this is really beautiful back here." And he was like, "Thank you." He grabbed a big handful of fish food and threw it in the pond so that I would see the most radiant of the fish come up to the top. He wanted to share that with me. And I said, "Oh, it's beautiful." And we agreed. And then, but still, the rifle, the camouflage, me standing in somebody else's backyard. So he asked me where I was from. And I said, "Well, I'm from Lexington, but my mother is from Woodford County." And he said, "Woodford, oh, that's over there kind of near Franklin where we go and hunt." And I said, "Oh, yeah, oh, you're a hunter, right?" Camouflage and a rifle. It had nothing to do with me. So he said, "We go over there and hunt." And I said, "I have an uncle who hunts." And y'all, I'm so serious. I'm not making this up. We kept talking and talking and talking until we figured out that he and my uncle hunt in the same place. There's like a little hut that hunters use, and they both use the same hut in Franklin County. And I tell that story because I was completely out of sync in this moment, because in the immediate, there were just all the differences. And then as soon as we started talking, we had family in common, we had fish in common, and also, I don't wear camouflage often, but I like it. So I think about this story a lot when I'm thinking about organizing community and how we enter spaces already a little hesitant and a little afraid. Hang on, I lost my place. So imagine if in those moments, instead of being programmed to hop into a column and pull away and separate, or jump into one of those lists that never lines up, that never falls into sync, we reprogram ourselves to go straight into being in sync. We reprogram ourselves to just think about that energy that the drum brings. Like, we don't have to talk about it. There's nothing to fear. It just inspires being in our heart. So imagine the ways we could move and work together properly if we first connected to our heartbeats. And then we expanded the connection through our community. Imagine if we could trust more and fear less. Even when we don't have the same goals, needs, or desires as others, if we are motivated by love and by finding solutions that are aligned and in sync with the goals, needs, and desires of others, we can build community. Do y'all believe that? Do y'all believe that? You can speak out loud. Even if we don't have the same goals, needs, and desires of others in community, we can still build community together. We don't have to just have what we need. We can collectively have what we need and desire. So we know from earlier, we know what it feels like. Remember? We know what it feels like to follow the heartbeat and fall into sync. We know what it feels like to agree that I'm going to be in this moment and follow the drum and trust my neighbors clapping in front of me and behind me and beside me. And we know the energy that is generated by it. We know the coming together, the connection that is generated by it. And we know that we can fall into sync and agree and work together properly. One more time? All right. I'm sorry, I lost track of time. Okay. This time, want to stand up? Stretch your legs, stretch your arms up. Trust that your neighbor has rhythm. Trust that you have rhythm. Everybody clap like this. Everybody stomp like this. Bring it down. Keep going, but real quiet. Keep going, but real quiet. So I want us to do a rhythm that we're going to create together. What do we want to bring into the world with our drumming and clapping and tapping our feet? Give me one word. What do we want to give to the world? Love. Just yell out a couple of words. Love. What else? Love, peace. One more. Hope. Okay, we have love, peace, hope. Say it. 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 Love, peace. Louder. Love, peace, hope. Love, peace, hope. Love, peace, hope. Love, peace, hope. One more time. How do we do this? Where do we connect? From the heart? Y'all ready? How can we say that? What do we want to say about connecting from the heart? Somebody help me. Huh? Oh, I got Hearts United. Does that work? Can we all sync up with Hearts United? How's that sound? Hearts United, yeah. Does that work? Somebody help me. Hearts United, yeah. Hearts United. Because we say Hearts United, and then the yeah is we're in agreement. Does it work? Hearts United, yeah. 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 Hearts United, Hearts United, yeah. Hearts United, yeah. Hearts United, yeah. Hearts United, yeah. Now just say yeah. One last time. Yeah! 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 Thank you. Thanks, y'all.
Oh my goodness. What a great morning. What a great convocation. Convocation and celebration, which of course is the first C in our core values, circles. The first C is celebration. And that's what we need to do more of. That's what we're doing this morning. And we're celebrating also the beginning of the spring 2023 semester, and I call it open for business. Have a great semester. Okay, hold on. I need you to stay seated for, are you there? Come on up. Okay, please, I need you to please stand. Join Union Harmony as we sing our alma mater. The words are in your program. Following, following the alma mater, remain standing for Reverend Miller, and he will give the benediction. Let's sing. Go Bulldogs.
my good word, my benediction for us today. I'm borrowing Hearts United, love, peace, and hope. Let's go forth with that in our hearts and in our lives. God bless.